this way. So I'm going to say, okay, so we're recording now.
Yay!
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me just introduce myself real quick. My name is Rachel Hofseth, even though it says Melissa Eichenhorst down there, but our wonderful, wonderful Diamond Upline, she has provided this opportunity for us to use her Zoom account for webinars. Super generous of her to do that for her team. But I'm Rachel Hofseth. I am an Emerald Ambassador, and with me I have
Melanie Allen, also Emerald Ambassador, and so honored to be on with Rachel tonight. We are super excited to bring this training to you. We actually did this training together. We just went to Tennessee, and we had our Rockstar retreat. It was so much fun, and so we're excited to bring this training back to you guys as well. Been with Plexus 5 years this month. Hard to believe it's been 5 years, March 18th, but it's been such a blessing. And one of my favorite blessings along the way are the friendships. And I got to meet Rachel 5 years ago. So we actually connected at one of Melissa's trainings at her house. And here we are today. So it's so fun to get to do this together.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that you brought that up. Yeah, my 5 years will be next month, April 20th. So
that's so fun.
So it's crazy. So we're just doing a little reminiscing here.
Yes.
But that's kind of a great lead in to this training, because we're going to talk so much about relationships, and it's just really neat that besides the relationships that you build with people within your own team, Plexus really provides opportunities for you to get to know other people that are sideline sisters and brothers and all of that kind of stuff. So it's just really, really special. So let's go ahead and jump into the training right away. Both of us have our notes. We are not experts by any means, and so we will be looking at our notes here and there and just pouring into you guys. And this is something that we absolutely love to do. So the title of this training is How to Develop Silvers. And before I get too much further in, I'm just going to kind of mention this probably throughout the evening as more people jump on. Just want to remind you guys, if you have questions as we're talking, feel free to put it in the chat. Can't guarantee you that we're going to answer it as you're asking. We might have some flexibility to answer those questions as you type them, but we will try and have some time to answer those later. So just wanted to throw that out there. Dogs are barking. Okay. So my in-laws are here. They almost busted in here. So the purpose of this training, even though we have said it's called Developing Silvers, this is also a leadership development training. And as soon as you sign one person to your team, you become a leader. So whether you have one person or 200 people, you are a leader. And for some of you guys, you're probably thinking that makes sense. Well, some of you might be going, that doesn't make any sense. Because that was me. That was 100% me, that I never considered myself a leader. And it wasn't until Melissa invited me to do a leadership development training with her and with a group of ladies, that I was like, why are you asking me to do this? I am not a leader. I've never been a leader. I was never team captain of my softball team. I was always the player that the coaches loved. I was such a good team player. I was not the leader. And I wanted to take care of my team. I wanted to take care of my people, but I was like, I'm not a leader. And so she invited me to learn this, and it just very quickly made sense. And if I could go back and do it all over again, I would start my leadership development, honestly, even before I signed Ambassadors. And I had no clue that this would become part of my journey and what I was getting myself into, to be honest. I just loved these products and didn't want to pay for them. But I just want you guys to know that you are leaders as soon as you sign somebody. So another purpose of this training is to really push you guys out of your comfort zone. And I don't think that you would be here taking your time out of your Monday evening, sacrificing this time, if you weren't serious about your business and you wanted to grow. So this training is going to push you out of your comfort zone. And it's just going to show you how to start taking ownership of your business and doing the work that you need to do to move forward in your own skills so that you can then develop silvers. Like that's the ultimate goal. So if we want the power of 3 to work, like if we really truly want to see that work and have sustainability in our businesses, then we need leadership skills and we need to develop those skills because it's not magically going to happen. Then we're also going to give you a step-by-step system that's going to help you develop silver. So we're going to give you guys real tangible things to do, but it's going to be up to you to actually apply what we're teaching you tonight. So let's really get started, okay? This business is all about people, okay? If you want to move forward in your leadership, you have to get better at the things that you're just not good enough at yet. And that sounds kind of funny, but really when you start, you have a certain set of skills, and those set of skills are going to let you accomplish things that those skills can help you accomplish. You're not going to move past that if you're not improving those skills. So we need to improve those skills. That's what my notes say. And that comes with personal growth and development. That comes with leadership development. Real quick story again. My daughter, she was picking selection. She's going into 7th grade next year. And one of the electives was a class on leadership. It's called Teen Leadership. And I was like, oh my gosh, Addison, you have to do this class. And she was like, I'm already good at that. I already do those things. And she wasn't being cocky. She's the sweetest girl in the world. But I was reading off the things that they're going to cover in this class. And she's like, well, I already do that. Like she was just confused. Like, why would I do that? I'm already good at that. And I said, honey, the best leaders in the world are always learning. And they're always growing. They're always trying to get better. And so when you meet like some of the best leaders, they will never say they have it figured out. I mean, that's why John Maxwell, who is probably the best trainer in leadership, he went back and rewrote one of his books that had been great for 25 years. I think it was 25 years, something crazy. I think it's his what is it?
Developing the Leader Within, I think.
I did that one, and he did the 2.0. Mm-hmm. So he was like, I'm actually glad that I had to go back and edit it. He's like, because that means that I'm growing, so like the best leaders want to continually grow and develop. And so if you don't have a desire to grow in your ability to connect, to influence, to lead, then you're really not going to be moving forward in your business. So you have to think outside of the box because everybody's busy, so feed yourself whenever you can, while you're folding clothes, while you're in your car, doing dishes, listen to trainings and audiobooks because it's hard to sit down and just read a book. So I'm just going to throw that out there. So you have to do things out of your habit to help you just learn and grow in your leadership. And one of the really, really cool things that Melanie, I think you're going to talk a little bit more about this. This is coming from Bob Heilig. He is incredible when it comes to leadership development for people in network marketing. And he shared with everybody that there's this Yale study that came out that they scientifically proved. Well, the title of it is Science Has Just Confirmed That If You're Not Outside Your Comfort Zone, You're Not Learning. And it's, to me, I'm like, that makes sense. Like when you hear that, you're like, that really makes sense. And so we get, you get stuck in this state of certainty, right? Like being certain of something gets you in your comfort zone, right? When you're certain that you do something and you're certain of the outcome, that's easy. Like that's comfortable. But then when you do things that you're uncertain of, that's things that you're unsure about the outcome. It's hard. It makes you uncomfortable. That's where the real growth starts to come. And so as we're telling you this, and as we're teaching you about leadership development and developing silvers, you're going to be pushed out of your comfort zone. And it's not going to be fun sometimes, and it's not going to be easy all the time. But that's where the real growth and learning comes from. And so another thing that I love that John Maxwell really has shared is that anything that you do, okay, you enter this learning cycle where you start your activity or whatever it is, you start it, most likely, because it's something new, you're gonna fail at it. Like, let's just be honest. When you're starting something new and you're learning, when you're starting your Plexus business and you've never done Plexus before, or you've never done network marketing before, you have to start in order to fail, but then you can learn from that failure. You take the steps to improve, and then you re-enter. And it's this ongoing pursuit and process. And so as you're growing in leadership, you're not going to be from like point A to point B like that. Like, you're not going to go from brand new ambassador to Jewel overnight. It's not going to happen. Like, you have to go through the steps in the process. You start, you fail, you learn, you improve, and you re-enter. The other thing with this that we really kind of want to touch upon too is kind of this idea of leveling up. And the reason why I say start your leadership development as soon as possible, because it's very likely that you could sponsor somebody onto your team that actually has skills that might be better than yours, and they have incredible potential. But if you haven't been working on your own leadership abilities and your influence and your relationship with them, they may end up falling through the cracks. You can't beat yourself up over it, because that's part of that process of starting, failing, learning, improving, and re-entering. So it's going to happen, but the faster you can improve your leadership skills, the less likely it's going to happen. Like, it'll be a faster process.
Rachel, can I add something to that? I know we're going to be keeping this really casual, you guys, where sometimes if I may think of something to kind of throw in, but I have that study in front of me, which if you guys are interested, let us know. We can send you this study that she was talking about getting outside of your comfort zone. And I want to read a quote from that study that I thought was so powerful. And it says, if you want to maximize learning, you need to make sure you're doing the hard things 70% of the time, you guys. So 5-time entrepreneur Aaron Hoffman has advised, it's tough to face the possibility of failure for such a huge chunk of your working life, but this new research confirms Hoffman is onto something. If you're not at least a little bit stressed about the outcome of what you're doing, your brain shuts down learning. So if you're not scared every single day, you're doing it wrong. That's really what I'm basically telling you. So like, you should be scared every single day with whatever you're doing. So whatever really is outside your comfort zone, you guys, that is what you need to go after, because that's truly how you're going to learn to get from where you are to where you want to be. Whether it be your business, your relationships, whatever it may be, we have to be outside of our comfort zones. For example, I read that and I thought, I don't go live enough. That is like my challenge, because that scares me. I don't love to go live. I don't love attentions from live, but like, that's like, I'm sitting here going to be accountable to you guys. I need to go live because there's things I have to share that people want to hear about, right? So we have to do those things that scare us every single day, not just when you feel like it, which is probably not very often that we want to get outside of our comfort zone, but that's truly how you're going to grow. So I just want to emphasize that 70% of the time you should be really scared what you're doing. If not, you're doing it wrong. So get outside that comfort zone. It truly is where all the magic happens. So just wanted to like emphasize that.
Love it. I absolutely love it. But yeah, it's easy and comfortable to do the things that you know that you're already good at.
Yeah.
And you're not, it's
yeah.
You gotta do the hard things.
Then we get complacent, but we're not growing, you know? So if you feel stuck in your business, do the hard things, do the scary things that will propel you to where you want to be.
Yeah. So, okay. So now we are going to get to the nitty gritty of this training. And what I'm going to say is this section is called Digging for Gold. I know that we have at least one person, guys, listen to this. We have one guy on here who signed up, just joined on Friday, and has showed up for this training, which is awesome. So I just want to
shout out to Jonathan.
But I'm probably guessing that the majority of you guys that are on this training already have a team, even if it's just one person, or you have many. And so you really are wanting to know, like, how do I develop silvers? Because we all know that there is there's the power of three. Or you're on here too going, okay, I've got this team. Now, how do I teach them to develop silvers? So it's all together. So we're going to dig for gold. I have to put a plug in here real quick for basic duplication because we're about to look at your level ones that are already ambassadors. Okay, so this is not a training about your potentials or brand new ambassadors. You're going to be able to apply that to new people moving forward. But I just want to talk about like basic duplication. And I mean like down to the basics of like, I just signed a brand new ambassador. What do I do? Okay. And these are like so basic, so stripped back. Add them to a team page. Okay. They need to be on a Jewel team page. They really need to be on our Diamond Uplines team page, or your diamonds. I don't know how far deep we're going here. And then also you welcome them to the team page. Like some people, even if they're wholesale ambassadors, don't even know it, but they need this community. So don't prejudge anybody, like get them involved, okay? Because they may not even know it, but this could be exactly what they need. Send them instructions on how to take their products. I mean, I know that sounds so silly, but that's something that can be missed. So make sure that you are sending them instructions on how to use their products. And just setting up like a one-on-one meeting. The other thing too, we've got files on the team pages of like, okay, what if they want to post about Plexus? And what if like we have files, we have resources. You guys probably already know that, but just remember like basic duplication. That's really it. I mean, can you think of anything else just with basic, like, I mean, this
possibly,
is like even.
Yeah, I was gonna say possibly one other thing that I do is it's not a bad idea to start a three-way chat and just introduce your sponsor. So like it could be another source of support because some of my leaders work full-time. And so I can be, if that person has a question or a potential, if they're not available, then I can possibly come in and answer the question too. So sometimes it's good just to develop that relationship, to know you have a really strong sense of support. For, you know, if they are working full time and they're not able to get a hold of them, you know, that you would be available too. So.
Yes, I love that. Thank you for adding that in. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen really, really quick because I want you guys, if you're able to do this, since you guys are just hearing us and we're not seeing you, if you're able to jump into your back office and log in, I really want you guys to actually do this, but I don't want to end the meeting. That would be really bad.
So let's not do that.
Share this real quick because I'm going to show you, because actually I was surprised that a lot of people didn't know how to do this. I need you to go away so I can get to my, hold on, and there we go. Okay, so when you log into your back office and you click on points and rank, it's going to pull up your downline report. What I want you guys to do is, if you didn't know this, on this right here, you can click on each of these and it sorts. So if you click on level, it's going to pull up all of my level ones and put them all at the top, you know? Well, I don't need to show you any of that, but so it just does that. If you're on your phone, you actually have to push that level twice, but on a computer, you just do it once. And I want you guys to pull up your level ones so that you can actually see your back office. Okay, I'm done sharing my screen right now. Because what I want you guys to do, and if you need to do this, like make a note, if you can't get to it, make a note that you are going to do this later after you get off with us. Create a list of your level ones, and I want you in a list of your level ones who are ordering the products. Okay, if they're inactive, that's a whole nother training of reaching out to them to see like what to do with them once somebody goes inactive. But create your list of level ones who are using the products and who are loving their products. Okay, and then I want you to put a star next to your level ones where you see potential in them, right? Uh-oh, hold on. I'm missing my stuff. Okay. Whose names do you see that you're just thinking to yourself, man, why haven't they gotten started yet? Right? Like started with the, like sharing. And I'm not talking about, I want to go all the way to the top of the company. Just why haven't they shared? They love their products. They're having extremely good results. Like what the heck? Like, why aren't they sharing? So I want you to write those names down. And then I want you guys to put a star next to the people that you see the potential of, like, them being crazy good at this. Okay. So that's kind of two different, like, categories of people, but I just want you guys to be able to visualize and see the people that you do have on your team. Okay. And then here's the thing too, that you're going to have to remember. I said at the very beginning of this training that it comes down to people and the relationships that we have. Melanie's going to talk more about the relationship aspect of it. But when you really start building a relationship with somebody, you're going to start to know them. You're going to start to see their strengths. You're going to see the qualities that would be good in this business. But if you don't ever get to know them, you're not going to know these things. You're not going to be able to know what motivates them. You know, or sometimes you have somebody that said they want to work the business, or even somebody that you're like, their personality makes them the perfect package for a Plexus ambassador, but yet they're not doing anything, like, because it comes back to their core motives. So you need to be asking your people what their why is, even if it's just for the products. Like, that's huge. That shows that you care. Because we can't just go to somebody who has shown interest in the business and said, okay, we're just going to get you to silver as fast as possible. Let's do this. Like, they might not be ready for that. Okay. So we have to make that connection with them. Relationship building is influence. And guess what? Leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. That's John Maxwell, 100%. So now that you guys have your list of level ones, I want to know, I want to see people commenting in our chat thread who is actually writing down. I'm calling you guys out. Who is actually writing out their list and putting stars next to their people? Like, I want to see this chat, because this is what it is. And look at that, Jen. I knew Jen would do that. She's
way to go, Jen. Way to go, Dawn.
Dawn, you guys are awesome. Okay, good. Yay. Okay, yay. You guys are doing it. Okay. So now that as you guys are writing this list and you're seeing the people that have potential, you guys are going to invite them to action. Okay. And this is where it gets exciting, but this is also where it can get scary, because most people sign up and say, I don't want to do anything with the business. I have so many people, almost everybody, that says, I don't want to work the business. I want to take the products. I want to get wholesale prices, but I don't want to work the business. And it's very easy to be like, okay, let's take it. You know, that's so easy. That's certain, right? Because we know how to help people with their products. But we have to invite them to action. So I'm going to give you just kind of a little script, and I want you guys to listen for this first part. I want you to listen. I don't want you to write this down, because I want you to really soak it in, okay? But you would say something like this. Hey, Melanie, I know how much you love your products, and I've always thought how fun you are to be around. I've always admired how you give so much to others. You care about people deeply, and you go after what you want. It all makes me think about how good you'd be at what I do. Now listen, I didn't say you'd be good at this business or you'd be good at sharing Plexus. It's you'd be good at what I do. I have this really quick 3-minute video that shows you how Plexus is changing lives, or why I love doing what I do. It may or may not be for you, but if I sent it to you, would you watch it? And I want you guys to recognize that what I did first was I let them know, like I reaffirmed that they are loving their products, right? Like, you know, they're using their products. If you know them and you've been talking with them, you know that they love them. Remind them of that. You love your products. And then the next step is I gave her 2 to 3 genuine compliments. Okay. Right. You cannot give a genuine compliment if you don't know your person, if you're not building relationships with them. It is so, so key. Okay. So 2 to 3 things that you genuinely admire about them. and then you're inviting them to something. And I said 3 minutes. The video that I'm talking about here is the Plexus Stories, or it's the really nice one that super professional. We just got it at Super Saturday. Flies over the field, and it's the stories of the 6 women. It's 3 minutes long. Being super specific about the video that you want to send them is really key, because if you just say a short video could be 15 minutes, and nobody's going to want to sit through 15 minutes. I also want you guys to realize that you don't have to use this one video for every single person. Again, it comes down to that relationship. Which video is going to speak to them? So we have to know our third-party tools. It might be the plan video. Right. You may have already had a conversation with them, and you're like, it is time for me to share the plan video that Melissa has made for us to use. It could be the 3-minute video that we have in the back office. I think we have like a 1.5-minute video, or maybe the Plexus Opportunity one is another one.
And I wanted to give another example, because for example, when I was training somebody recently, I was like, if you're training a hairdresser, or you're trying to talk to a hairdresser, I don't need to send her a video about a nurse. I'm going to send her a Diamond documentary about a hairdresser, right? So the reason you really want to familiarize yourself with your third-party tools. So, when you're driving, when you're getting your makeup on, when you're doing dishes, when you're folding laundry, you guys, that is when I was learning and listening back in the day, back 5 years ago. I feel like it was so long ago, but we listened to conference calls, like just, where we called in. And I mean, we had those monthly. And so I will just tell you, I still don't watch a lot of TV, but like, that was something that I sacrificed. So, we make sacrifices, but in that process, we're learning and growing. But as we're doing other things, so I could just have taken a shower, I could have just folded laundry, but instead I continued to grow as I did, those tasks. And so make sure you know your third-party tools. You guys are really short. I always joke that my Lexus is my rolling university, because I'm always thinking about what's the next video or training of what, I can learn and grow from. And leaders are going to be learning constantly, like she said, and we're all evolving. So we've never arrived, right? So we're always going to be learning. Even when I'm Diamond, I'm going to continue to learn and grow. So keep that in mind. Have that mindset, have that growth mindset to continue to want to grow yourself. And you're just going to see yourself make more of an influence and impact on the people that you work with. So, and your team members as well.
Yeah.
Because know that 99% of people have to be influenced to silver. They're not going to do it on their own. You're going to influence them 99% of the time. The other statistic I want to throw out there just while I'm talking, this is really, really powerful, but what you need to remember is the average wholesaler will be with you 60 to 90 days. The average silver ambassador will be with you for 13 months. So the power of 3, what we're talking about tonight, is very critical to your success and the sustainability for your business. So 13 months, 3 people. So it's huge.
Yeah. I love you just calling attention to like us knowing our third-party tools, because that comes with knowing our people, like she said. So, I mean, that 3-minute video may not be it. It may be time for you to share a Diamond documentary with them. And if you're having to like scramble last minute to find something, and then you're like, oh, well, I'll just pick this one, and it doesn't apply to them at all, like it's going to they're not going to care. So know your third-party tools, and at the very least, it's going to build your belief even further, and it's going to bring new people to mind that you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this person. I should share this with them. So you can't go wrong with building your belief. So that's the invitation to action again. So I just want to reiterate one time, remind them that they love their products, give them 2 to 3 genuine compliments. That is a reason why they would be good at what you do. This may or may not be for you, but if I gave you a short 3-minute video or whatever that showed you why I love Plexus, would you watch it? Okay. So what happens now if they ignore you, or if they say no? Like, what do you do? Because that's going to happen. You're going to come across people like that they're going to ignore you. They're going to say no thanks. So you can either see that as, I know where they stand now. Like 100%, I know where they stand. They're not ready yet. Don't write them off. They're just not ready yet. And that is 100% okay. And you move on to the next person. Or if you still see them as somebody with like crazy, crazy potential, then what do I say? And you want them to do this with you, then you have to work on the relationship. You have to get to a point where you can influence them to learn more, and get to know them, be involved in their life. So if you see that potential and you feel like it's worth it, but I also want to say, don't, I mean, that's one of the things that Bob Heilig talked about as what the biggest mistake that leaders make is that they waste their time on people that really don't deserve their time. So it's a fine line between knowing like this person has so much potential, but you can't want it for them more than they want it. So that's, just know that that's part of the process, right? And you can learn from this, right? You can learn from the way that you're reacting with them or things that you're saying. But I want to go to what if, okay, hold on real quick. And then there's also a chance that you may be early in your business and you just have a few ambassadors, like a few team members, and none of them are interested. Well, then it's time to go find new people, which we should always be looking for new people regardless. But find what drives you also to never give up. And do things that take you out of your comfort zone. You may be at a point where if things aren't happening, you have to really dig deep and find out, like, am I really pushing myself out of my comfort zone? Okay. So now we're kind of, I think we're doing okay on time. We are going to look at the person that does take you up on your invitation. Okay. So you're preparing and you've sent them this message and then they say, sure, I'll watch the video. Then what do you do? Okay. And now I am going to pass it off to Melanie.
All right. Good deal. Okay. So ideally you want to be side by side. I mean, again, if they're local, right? So if they're local, try to get to their house, be face-to-face if possible. And if not, then a Zoom is another great way that you can try to connect. But I would definitely, we talked about this before, but just to remind you, 99% of people will need to be influenced to silver. So when you sit side by side with them, one thing that I wanted to bring up that I am just now exploring and learning more about is a personality test. And it's called The People Code, and it's by Taylor Hartman. And what I love that what this book talks about is it's motive-based, so it goes deeper than the behavior-based test, like the MLM color code personality test, like who's heard of Big Al, right? So that's where I learned. I mean, you guys might know, you might have even come to some of my local events. I had Big Al multiple times, right? I loved his book. But it's behavior-based. This is going deeper. So this is motive-based. And what I like about this is something you do not want to skip this step. It'll take about 30 minutes. However, it'll help you and them figure out what truly motivates them into action. You cannot move them into action without knowing what motivates your person. So even like last night, I'm going to call out Ann. So before I met with Ann, she took the test for me, right? I sent her the colorcode.com test. There's also a test in this book. Okay, so it gives us an idea about who they are so we can know how to best relate to them and help them and what's going to motivate them into action. And then when you're side by side with them, you guys, you're going to keep that core motive in mind. And so I took the test. Okay. Yeah, see, Ian? Yep, I know. I wanted to bring this up because this was my original test I took. And I'm white, so something that was really powerful, I thought that it gave me just from that test was for a better relationship with me, shows that I'm a white, is to be patient and kind. You must provide structure, accept my individuality, allow alone time, be logical and open, but you don't want to be cruel and insensitive, demand conformity, demand leadership, force confrontation. So if you're still kind of getting to know someone, this gives you a pretty good idea, a little bit about who they are, so you can know how to be most effective with them as well. Because remember, this is about relationships, and so we want to make sure that we are really focused on that and really serving them and what are their motives, not what are your motives. Okay, I think we can be really guilty of, oh my gosh, she's going to be amazing. She's a rock star. I just know she has so much influence. She's totally going to want to do this. We can't decide that for people. We can definitely influence them, but it's about the relationship first. So if you're getting resistance from the person you're working with, you need to go back to your rapport with that person and emphasize and focus on the friendship and the relationship first, and then you can go back. So while I'm bringing that up, just to say, that's where I'm going to throw in a couple books at you, because this, again, leaders are readers, and this is, really a leadership development training that we're doing tonight. And one thing I will say, I have not read it yet, but Rachel told me about this book, Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. Okay, so this is one book that I'm excited to dig into. Another book that I have read, two of them that I have read, 25 Ways to Win with People. I don't have it in front of me, but she does. But I do have it like in my bookcase. The other one that's really good is How to Win Friends and Influence People, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. So again, all these great books, right? But How to Win Friends and Influence People was a game changer for me. I feel like it's one of those that I could go refer back to multiple times and still learn from it. So if you aren't sure, or you're having a hard time, with influence with people or really connecting with people, I suggest you try out, check out those books, because they'll definitely help you. So when you're sitting side by side, again, keep that core motive in mind throughout the process. And if they had someone give interest on the first post, then start there. But if they haven't done their post, have them do it now. Okay, so this is where you're gonna go ahead and have them do their post, and we're gonna give you. We can actually go ahead and probably give you this verbiage as well if you guys want it. But I don't have it. I'm gonna be able to just say it out loud right now. So remember, connect with them, get to know them, listen to their goals and dreams. Don't attach your motives, right? And then here's some scenarios to throw out there at you, though. So say they haven't made that first post yet. So this is just an example, you guys, okay? So this is just one example of something that you could do. It'd be like, hey, guys, I'm super excited to try this stuff called Plexus that helped my friend Melanie lose weight, have more energy, and get rid of her sugar cravings. And I'm really hoping it helps me with my weight loss, my energy, and my sleep. Does anyone want to try it with me? Okay, so that's one example. Or if they already have a product story, small or big, help them write their story. And this is what I'm going to throw in a little story that I shared at the Rockstar Retreat. I don't think Jennifer's on tonight, but I have a stranger, again, I've been doing this 5 years, so I'm meeting people on Facebook sometimes. So she sent me a message. She was telling me she's itching all over. She's just itching, miserable. And it broke my heart hearing her story. I couldn't wait to help her. I'm so confident with our products. I had no doubt that it was definitely worth a shot for her to try Plexus, right? She'd been to multiple doctors. She'd been on lots of medications, lots of creams, but I knew if she didn't get to the root issue, she was going to continue to struggle with this itching. I mean, she said she literally had scars, right? And so it broke my heart whenever we connected. And I thought, I need to really help. I need to help her. So then she ordered, so that was good. And then she got really skeptical. She started doing some research, and she started saying, oh, I don't know. I think this might be a scam. I'm not sure about this stuff, Well, all I said to her was, hey, would you have time to talk on the phone today? I would love to hear more about your concerns, so I can really, because I think of how can I serve my team, right? So I think about what are some different ways I can try to serve my team. And I got on the phone with her, and I literally just listened to her share her story for 30, 40 minutes about all the things she's struggling with. I just listened. I did not get defensive. I just listened to her story and how she's been struggling, all the doctors, right? And then I said, would love to see, your research of what your concerns are, and let's address those things you're concerned about. I didn't try to like get defensive with her. I just said, I really have some information I think could really help you. Would you be open to me helping you? And she said, I am miserable. You seem really kind. I think I'll go ahead and trust you. So do you see how people don't really care about how much you know until they know you care? I mean, that's something I think about a lot when I'm talking with people. So keep that in mind, because I don't think, because I took the time out of my day to really listen to her and to really hear her, to her know she's not just somebody I'm signing up to just have a number on my team. My heart is to help people feel better. My heart is to change their life, right? So I had to let her know that I'm not here just to, get her money or try to make money off of her. I want to help change her life. So I gave her some education on Candida overgrowth, you guys. She started working with me. I started working with her week after week. We would really tweak her regimen. We worked on her diet. We went through a lot of different things. And I still remember 60 days into this process, working really closely with her, when she sent me that before and after picture, she said, look where I was and look where I am today. And I just got tears in my eyes because it reminded me why we do this, right? Sometimes we can lose sight of what an impact we can really make with people. But I felt so proud that she trusted me, right? And now I'm like, friend, you have a story to share, and think how many people in your network you can bless with these life-changing products. You guys, this is why we do this, right? We're hope dealers. And I literally was just a vessel to help change her life with these products. And she has never felt better. And she's not even doing everything yet. So she still struggles with sugar addiction, and she's working on that and increasing her probiotic, her ProBio 5, because we know it's the best. So I share that story to say, stop and listen to your people, really get to know them, because that's what we're trying to emphasize tonight, that, we really need to listen to people and what they need, because I could have just blown her off and been like, she's too difficult. She's just being skeptical. But I took the time to listen to her, and it really made an impact. So take the time to do those things, because they do matter. Yeah. And that's where I would help her write her story, right? I could help her with maybe doing the graphic or whatever I could do to help her with sharing her story. And that would be her first post, right? And then as they made their first post, another example would be, and have interested friends and family, and you've already done the send, share, invite system with their interested people and no one signed up yet. Another thing you could do is say, hey, I know you're really thinking about Plexus and we're considering getting started. I've loved it so much. It may or may not be for you, but I think you'll really love it because of blank. And you can insert a health issue here, like, I have so much more energy, or I'm now regular daily, or whatever it may be. It's really helped my sugar cravings, whatever it may be. And then you say, would you be interested in getting going? And another one would be, made their first post but didn't have any interest from it. Help them fill in their leads you didn't know you had list. So in your virtual office, we have so many resources, you guys. If you go to Resource Library, it'll blow you away. I was on there last night with Ann, and it was such good information. Just going over it with her and seeing, Plexus has really come out with such a great resource for us. We have so many resources at our fingertips. You can use that to help you generate a list. Pick 5 to 10 people to reach out to. But here's the thing. You are side by side sending out messages with your person when you're side by side with them. So a lot about 2 hours, because it's about 30 minutes for you to take the test, and you're right there next to them. You can review the test together, and then you're going to get into actual reach outs to take action together, help get them out of their comfort zone, but you're going to be there to help them construct those messages to reach out to 5 to 10 people with you there to like link arms. And I know it can be scary at first, right? You're going to help them break out of their comfort zone, because remember what we say, 70% of the time, if you're not doing it scared, you're doing it wrong. Okay?
Yeah. Melanie, real quick, can I just add?
Sure.
This does sound scary. I was even saying this sounds scary because it is so easy for us to want to just tag our people.
Oh, yeah.
Posts, right? Like, that's the easy thing. It's like, oh, we're such in this like fast speed, got to do everything quick because I want to move on to the next person. And we really want to take the time to like invest in those relationships. And I'm not saying that you don't teach them and train them and guide them and tag them in things, but actually taking the time to show them this stuff, guys, that's going to last for way longer. People don't leave companies, people leave people. And so if you want your ambassadors sticking around and potentially having them build their own businesses and really develop them through Silver and further, like, we've got to take this time. And that might be hard. You might have to sacrifice 2 hours of your time to sit down with them. But guess what? People crave that time with each other. Like, they really do. Like, it's not always convenient to go out to lunch with somebody, you know, to take time out of your day to set aside time, if you're not local with them, to jump on a Zoom, to do what we're doing tonight. That's not always easy. But guys, that's what's going to create growth in your business. It really is. And it's going to create stability too. So don't just take the easy way out of tagging them on posts and then not actually having that connection with them.
Yeah, and that she led into a great thing that just made me think about too. And I think about this a lot, but we need to listen more and talk less. I have been really guilty of being like, okay, here's all the things you need to know, but here's the thing. What do they want to know, right? So we need to listen more and talk less. Bob talks a lot about that, about, you know, you actually make more money listening more and talking less. So if you want to make more money, be a good listener and talk less, and don't try to be the expert, okay? Because what's so cool about our send, share, and bite system is people can copy and paste, right? They can copy and paste the video. You're not trying to be the expert. Remember, duplication starts the second you open your mouth and talk to that person. They're going to be already assessing, can I do what Melanie's doing? Can I do what Rachel's doing? It starts from the second you communicate and they're interested in Plexus. So very first conversation, keep that in mind. So you want to keep it so simple that you don't overwhelm people. And the other thing is, if they seem resistant, like say you're meeting with them one-on-one, they've taken the test, you're like, okay, let's send some messages, and they're like really resistant, like, whoa, like this is too much. You know, you need to go back and focus on the relationship. And that's where that, you know, emphasize the friendship and the relationship, and leadership is influence. So you're going to focus on them and their goals and trying to help them, but there's a balance between pushing too hard but not being too comfortable. So you have to find ways to compromise their lack of action because you push with your motives and not theirs. So you guys, that's where the people code is so key, to know your people, to know how to best work with them and help them. So that's where this is such a game changer. When I heard about this, I was so excited, and I cannot wait to dive into this book. But the thing is, I'm not just going to read it. I'm going to really know this book. So the thing is, like, I heard a training from Emily Gibson talking about this book, and she's been studying this book, you guys, for 6 months. So it's not like she reads it and moves on and keeps, like, she really knows this book well. So you have the opportunity to further grow as a leader by really focusing on their motives and not yours, okay? So, and again, if you're still doing all this and you haven't signed anybody up, focus on, you know, all the things we talked about, reading the books, focus on the friendship, and then talk with them about what you learned about being uncomfortable so they can learn and grow. So you're going to teach them kind of, you know, what you've learned. And then also, again, less you say, the more you make. Okay, so going back to listening more, talking less. Really, really hear your people and make sure, you know, you really listen to them. And the reason why you're not where you want to be in your business is because you're still in the process of developing your skills. So my son, just to give an example, he is learning to now read. But he didn't, you know, like come out of the womb reading, right? Like it's a process to get there. He also, you know, is starting first grade. He's not graduating high school yet. It's a process to develop the skills to get to where he needs to be, to where he can graduate and go to, you know, go to college. Okay. So there's a lot of developmental things, but same in this business. You can't come in, we're all at different levels, right? So you can't come in expecting to know everything. And, you know, you are going to still have learning and growing to do, and just know that's okay. That's okay. And you're just going to continue to grow and evolve. And we're in the School of Network Marketing, and there's things that we have to apply to get better, but we are all capable of learning the skill of becoming a better leader. and becoming good enough to do this, to create these silvers, and then developing goals and senior goals and Ruby. I mean, when I came in, I just wanted to get my products free. I mean, like I didn't know what, I never in a million years thought I would do network marketing. I'm an occupational therapist. I love what I did. I had a specialty in neuro, and it was my passion. But guess what? I had my third baby and I wanted to be home and I didn't want to miss a minute. So you guys, I had a strong why. And my husband said, you're either going to make more money or go back to work. And I got busy. Okay. Because my babies, I wanted to be home. And so that was a very strong why for me. So you do have to find that thing that really is going to drive you, and build your belief, invest in yourself, invest in your business, get uncomfortable. And you're going to want to invest in Bob Heilig's Leadership Academy if you're really wanting to grow as a leader. I highly recommend his academy. He really breaks it down how to grow as a leader. And I've learned so much. I've been in his academy now for a year and a half. I did his Impact Summit last April. I also went in July to his summer workshop. I'm always learning from Bob. He's amazing, and he has such a good heart.
He's coming to
and he's coming to convention. So who hasn't signed up? You need to get to convention. Just a little plug for that. You guys, convention's a game changer. It builds so much belief in this company, and we have the best leadership. Alec, Clark, and Tarl, they're just amazing, amazing men. And the other thing is I'm a jewel because I've heard no more than you, so I'm nothing special. Anybody can do this. I've just been rejected more than you have. I'm just failing forward every day, okay? So I am nothing special. You guys can do it too, and you just have to know that you're going to hear no a lot, and that's okay, but you're going to get to your yes that way. And there's a really good video that whenever I got discouraged, I would listen to, and it's by Sarah Marble. It's called How to Quit Quitting. You can find it on YouTube. It's really, really good. And you guys, quit quitting on yourself, right? It could be about your health. It could be about your finances. Whatever your goals are, quit quitting on yourself, okay? You want to grow and be better, and like know that if you're not scared and, you know, get out of your comfort zone, then you're doing it wrong. Okay, so we all need to think about that. And you have the life you have today because that is the life you're willing to put up with. I'm just going to give you a little tough love. Okay, so you have the life you have today because you're willing to put up with it. And I know that may sting a little bit, but right now you become good enough for the level you have reached. Wherever you are, it's certain and comfortable, but get uncomfortable and start learning what it's going to take for you to reach that next level that makes you good enough for that level. Once you get there, get uncomfortable again and move to the next level. Find joy in that process and be grateful for what you have without getting too comfortable in that space. So with that to be said, what I want to say by that is I got to gold, right? So I went from silver, and then I was like, well, how do I get to gold? Okay, now how do we get to senior gold, right? So we have to develop the skills as we go. So now I'm trying to develop the skills and level up as a leader so I can get to sapphire, right? And then to diamond. So that is it's a process in leadership and also personal development. But you guys, it's so much fun along the way, and you grow so much. Sometimes it's hard, right? It's not always fun. But like, I think about where I was 5 years ago today. I'm such a different person. So who we become in the process is really like the biggest blessing, right? Along with the friendships and hanging out with people with this amazing community to where we all grow together. So Rachel, do you want to talk a little bit about the have, do, be?
Yeah, I can talk about that real quick because I know that we're actually kept people a little bit longer than we had expected. So I appreciate
all right,
you guys for sticking around. But yeah, I think a lot of the times that we get in this have, be, do mentality where like you're thinking, if I have more money, I can do something different and then I'll be more successful. Well, really it should be, do, have, meaning that who do I need to be to do what I need to do to have the success that I want? So the being always precedes the doing, and you can only do what you are. So that's leadership development. So really where you're at, like, is where you're at in your business is who you are. Who do you need to become to be that next level up? I remember that when I was probably a Ruby or a senior Ruby, I had a silver come up to me And she was so nervous, and she's like, Rachel, I can't do what you're doing. And I go, you know what? I said, when I was a silver, I couldn't do what a senior Ruby was doing.
Right.
And we look ahead to what we want, but we talk ourselves out of that sometimes so much because we don't get to see the process, right? You guys didn't get to see our journey, right? Our struggles, our times where we were like, man, this is hard sometimes, you know, like you're not seeing those times. And it's part of the process. And so if you're thinking, you know, I could never be that, I could never be that, just know that it's a process. I mean, I grew up, my dad, and he wasn't being mean, but he would say things to me like, you're not a leader. Not me. I'd be like, how come I didn't get picked for team captain? Well, Rachel, you're not a leader. And he kind of fed that into me. So I just assumed like, I'm happy to be on the team, right? But it's something that I have developed over time. So that is something, even when you can't see it, just focus on like, do something that's going to move you forward just a little bit, and then just a little bit. And then all of a sudden you're making bigger jumps in your improvement. So, and I know that this, you know, I hope that you guys saw the steps of what we were saying to develop leaders. Like you saw the actual steps with the verbiage that Melanie gave you, and with making that list of your level ones and really inviting them so you feel like you walked away with something like solid and concrete that you can actually put into action. It's uncomfortable, right? Some of you may be like, oh, I can get together with people anytime, but most people it's uncomfortable. But truly, when you build your influence, when you work on your leadership development, it's going to start becoming easier and easier. You're going to start seeing more silver developments. Then you're going to be able to teach those people how to do exactly what we're doing. Like this training is not hard. This is easy. And you develop. And if it's not coming easy to you, if you're still feeling like it's not happening, most likely you have to go back and work on yourself. And sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow because we don't like looking at our shortcomings, right? We don't like admitting the areas that we need to improve on. Like we want to take the things that we're good at and just do more of that. But sometimes we need to go back and actually look at the things that I really got to change that. I got to make a change. So I don't know if there's anything else really to add.
I think that's pretty good since we did go longer. If there's any questions, I guess we can jump into that because I feel like we try to keep it 45 minutes, you guys, but it really is a lot of information. But I hope that was helpful. If y'all have any questions, we're here for you guys. Thank you for taking time out of your night to hear more about this. You know, people that show up, go up. That's my favorite quote. But, you know, people that continue to learn and grow and come to these trainings, you're the ones that are going to be making more money. I'm just saying, because it takes development. Most of us don't come in knowing, you know, really what to do. So thank you for coming. And then I'm just going to check the chat and make sure we have any other questions before we get off. And yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Feel free to, if you have questions, you can
send
me a message. We're happy to help.
Absolutely. And if y'all need the verbiage, just let me know. We can try to get that information to you as well.
Get the recording if you want to share this training. Get the verbiage with that for you guys. So, all
right,
we're going to go do things scary. We're going to do things that are hard.
Yes.
Grow and learn. So
get out of that comfort zone, you guys. That's where all the magic happens.
All right.
Thanks, you guys. Have a good night.
Good night, guys.
Bye, y'all.